Long before paved highways and towering skyscrapers transformed the landscape, the American continents flourished as a vibrant tapestry of tribes and nations. These indigenous peoples moved in perfect harmony with nature, honoring every waterway, every tree, and every creature as integral threads in an expansive spiritual fabric. Throughout millennia, these civilizations thrived, developing sophisticated social, spiritual, and ecological systems that reflected profound wisdom. They studied celestial patterns to navigate their journeys, interpreted wind messages to understand nature's communications, and sang ceremonial songs celebrating existence itself. Yet with colonial arrival, much of this ancient knowledge vanished. This is the story of wisdom nearly forgotten by time, whose echoes still resonate through lands, rivers, and countless hearts. Prepare for a temporal journey where ancestral voices and Earth's whispers remain audible. This is a narrative of respect, harmony, and spirituality, the story of the indigenous peoples of the Americas. Before foreign hands drew any borders, the American continents existed as an immense mosaic of life. From northern reaches to southern extremes, hundreds of nations flourished, each possessing distinct languages, traditions, and unique relationships with the natural world. These territories weren't disputed zones but sacred homelands, carefully protected by those who believed humanity belongs to the earth, not the reverse. Across North America's central plains, the Lakota people followed massive bison migrations, recognizing these animals as blessings providing sustenance and balance. Westward, Pueblo ancestors constructed stone cities appearing to grow organically from mountains themselves, perfectly harmonizing architecture with landscape. Northward, the Haudenosaunee, known as the Longhouse people, established one of history's earliest democratic systems, a confederacy uniting 5, then 6 great nations in peace and cooperation. Each society maintained unique land relationships. For the Tupi-Guarani inhabiting southern rainforests, nature reflected the sacred, with every river and mountain carrying stories of deities and ancestors. Meanwhile, the Inuit in Arctic regions demonstrated profound wisdom by adapting to the harshest climates, finding sustenance and shelter where others saw only ice and desolation. These nations didn't merely survive, they thrived. Trade networks connected distant tribes, enabling exchanges of goods, ideas, and stories. Atlantic shells discovered in the Great Plains and Western Obsidian found eastward testify to interconnected communities existing long before modern globalization. More impressive than trade routes or constructions was their shared philosophy, deep respect for universal interconnectedness. They believed humanity represented just one thread in life's web, and disrupting this balance would bring chaos to all. The American continents weren't wilderness awaiting conquest. They comprised vibrant, complex worlds shaped by those understanding that genuine greatness lies in living harmoniously with everything surrounding us. One continent, 1,000 peoples, and a lesson humanity still struggles to learn. Native American tribes and nations were far more than human groupings. They were sophisticated communities, each with governing systems, behavioral codes, and rituals ensuring internal harmony and collective survival. These organizations reflected profound wisdom about communal living, where every individual had purpose and recognized contributions. Among the Haudenosaunee, known as the Iroquois Confederacy, governance exemplified remarkable balance between central authority and local autonomy. This union of 6 nations operated on consensus, with tribal leaders convening in Grand Council. Every decision considered not only present circumstances, but impacts on 7 generations forward. This long-term vision reflected respect for life's continuity and nature. It was also a system avoiding tyranny and ensuring every voice was heard, regardless of status or position. In the Southwest, the Hopi maintained a deeply spiritual, decentralized community. Each village was governed by an elder council deciding collectively on important matters. Their governance was intrinsically linked to spirituality, with many decisions guided by ceremonies and natural signs. For the Hopi, leadership wasn't imposed but recognized as sacred duty. Furthermore, their oral traditions ensured spiritual and practical teachings passed between generations, preserving community essence. Across the Great Plains, the Lakota divided their communities into smaller groups, each with leaders chosen by merit. Major decisions, warfare or collective hunts, occurred in larger councils where every warrior and elder had voice. This flexible organization allowed the Lakota to adapt to seasonal changes and environmental challenges. Their rapid reorganization capacity during need represented one of their greatest strengths, reflecting adaptability ensuring survival. Meanwhile, Northwest peoples like the Tlingit and Haida established social hierarchies characterized by clans. These clans organized not only social life, but also enforced rights over land and natural resources. Each clan possessed origin stories, totems, and spiritual lineages, celebrated in elaborate ceremonies like potlatches, feasts where wealth was distributed to strengthen alliances and demonstrate generosity. This practice reinforced social bonds, balanced resources, and ensured no hoarding of excess. The common thread throughout these organizations was consistent respect for cooperation and mutual dependence. Among Native American tribes, decisions were rarely made individually. They emerged from collective deliberation and often held spiritual character. Leadership was viewed as service and responsibility toward community and ancestors. Additionally, there was emphasis on continuous learning, where each tribal member contributed knowledge and skills for collective good. Native American tribes and nations possessed organization transcending politics. They demonstrated that authentic leadership springs from respecting life, community, and earth, a teaching that, though lost to many, can still model for us and future generations. The spiritual practices of Native American peoples celebrated the interconnection between physical and spiritual realms. For them, Earth wasn't merely a dwelling place but a living, sacred being whose divine essence could be felt in every mountain, river, forest, and animal. This spiritual vision permeated all life aspects, from rituals to daily activities. Among the Lakota, spirituality centered on Wakantanka, the Great Spirit or Great Mystery. This divine force wasn't represented by a single entity but by the sum of all universal energies, connecting everything in existence. Rituals like the sun dance symbolized sacrifice and renewal, connecting individuals to cosmic order. During ceremonies, participants danced for hours in devotion, communing with natural cycles and praying for community harmony. The Hopi believed themselves guardians of balance between physical and spiritual worlds. Their ceremonies, performed by kachinas, spiritual beings representing nature aspects and ancestors, sought to bring rain, fertility, and prosperity. Every dance, every mask worn during rituals, manifested respect for the sacred and means of communicating with the divine. Balance and harmony were maintained through strict adherence to rituals transmitted across generations. Among Amazonian peoples like the Tupi-Guarani, spirituality was deeply linked to the concept of the land without evil, a state of purity and spiritual balance. They believed that through songs, dances, and consuming sacred plants and forest medicines like ayahuasca, they could achieve visions guiding their communities and connecting with forest deities and spirits. These rituals were also healing moments, where body and spirit were treated as inseparable unity. Northwest peoples like the Haida integrated spirituality into their art, especially creating totem poles. These monuments were far more than sculptures. They were living stories representing lineages, myths, and relationships with the sacred. Each carved figure carried deep meanings, symbolizing connections with ancestors and natural forces shaping their lives. In all these cultures, spirituality wasn't isolated practice but something permeating daily life. Before hunting, hunters offered prayers and offerings, thanking the animal spirit for its gift. When farming, farmers sang to the earth requesting blessing and fertility. Even building shelter or lighting fire were surrounded by rituals acknowledging each action's sacredness. Spiritual practices also played fundamental roles in healing. Shamans, viewed as bridges between worlds, used chants, medicinal plants, and dances to treat illnesses viewed as spiritual imbalances. These healers didn't just restore physical health, but reconnected individuals to life's web. The wisdom of these spiritual practices transcends time and invites reflection. What if we lived in a world where every action was devotional, where every step was taken with gratitude, every word carried the sacred's weight? Perhaps, like Native American ancestors, we could rediscover our relationship with the divine. The philosophy of interdependence was the heart of Native American lifestyle. They viewed the world as a vast web, where every being, every nature element was interconnected and played essential roles in overall harmony. This vision wasn't merely spiritual belief, but practical philosophy, guiding decisions and relationships with Earth and each other. Among Great Plains peoples like the Lakota, the concept of Midikui Oyasin, all my relations, symbolized this connection. It referred not only to human relatives but to all life forms, from bison to prairie winds. The Lakota believed harming any part of life's web meant harming oneself. This belief reflected in their respectful resource use. Every hunted animal part was used, and gratitude rituals were performed before and after hunts. The Hopi people, known as people of peace, lived this interdependence through relationships with water and arid Southwest lands. For them, survival depended not just on human labor but sacred partnership with nature. Therefore, their agricultural practices relied on rituals invoking rain, recognizing that without natural elements' help, life wouldn't be possible. This understanding shaped how they cultivated, harvested, and even shared food, in constant harmony with natural cycles. This interdependence philosophy also permeated relationships with past and future generations. For Native Americans, time wasn't linear but cyclical. Ancestors weren't distant. They lived in stories, rituals, and the land itself. Similarly, every decision considered coming generations, aiming to preserve resources and balance for those following. This intergenerational responsibility concept was embedded in Iroquois practice of considering every decision's impact on 7 generations forward. Furthermore, interconnectedness was lived daily in shared community responsibilities. Every person had roles, from youngest to elders, who were viewed as living libraries of wisdom. Survival was an individual endeavor but collective, where each person contributed to group welfare, whether through hunting, farming, teaching, or healing. Native American interdependence philosophy offers us crucial lessons. We aren't isolated islands but parts of a vast relationship web. It shows us that caring for each other and Earth isn't merely moral duty but necessity for survival and thriving. In a world where disconnection and selfishness prevail, perhaps it's time to rediscover this ancestral wisdom and remember that, as they said, everything is connected. With colonizer arrival, or rather European invaders, Native American peoples faced centuries of dehumanization and cultural loss. Sacred lands were conquered, destroyed, and desecrated. Languages were silenced, spiritual practices banned. The overwhelming colonial force devastated countless traditions, yet couldn't completely eliminate the wisdom essence these peoples carried. Despite hardships, many of their teachings still echo in the modern world, inspiring movements demanding justice and sustainability. During the 19th century, government policies like native residential schools in the United States and Canada had clear objectives to eliminate indigenous cultures. Children were forced to abandon languages, customs, and spirituality. Nevertheless, many families continued transmitting traditions secretly. For example, the Lakota preserved the Sundance practice, spiritual rituals symbolizing renewal and cosmic connection. Today, this ceremony stands as a powerful example of cultural resistance and bridge between past and future. The Hopi preserved prophecies warning of dangers from ignoring humanity's interconnection with nature. They believe the environmental and social imbalances we face today result from deviating from sacred ways. These prophecies have become guiding lights for those seeking to restore harmony with Earth, offering hope visions rooted in respect and collective responsibility. The ancestral wisdom of Native American peoples invites us to reflect on our choices and priorities. Their teachings show us that genuine progress lies not in reckless exploitation, but in creating balance respecting all life forms. It's a call to listen to past echoes and move forward with greater awareness and gratitude. Ultimately, as many of these cultures believed, what we do to Earth, we do to ourselves. Thank you for watching.